From drug cartels to war zones, here are 10 of the world's most dangerous jobs for children. The insanity of these environments is unreal. Number 10. Drug mules and lookouts for Mexican cartels. Throughout the years, U.S. Border Patrol and custom officers have seen more and more Mexican teens being used as smugglers to get drugs across the border. To drug cartels, these young underage boys are cheap and expendable and don't attract as much attention as adults do. In many parts of Mexico, minors who are caught breaking the law could not be incarcerated for periods of over 7 years, and the law even forbids authorities from keeping their criminal records. Originally enforced to protect the future of youngsters, this law has now been taken advantage of by drug cartels. The teenagers are employed as drug mules or lookouts, and a majority of them become drug addicts themselves. Rehab centers across the country are filled with adolescents trying to turn a new leaf and get away from their dirty past. A 14-year-old boy known as El Ponches, who was caught in central Mexico, revealed that he was kidnapped by a drug cartel at the age of 11. The young boy had been working for them since and had even participated in at least 4 beheadings. For some people like El Ponches, leaving a gang is difficult and nearly impossible, as they would be hunted down by their former gang members. Number 9. Firework factory workers in India. Come to Diwali, and India lights up with beautiful displays of fireworks everywhere. Most of the country's pyrotechnic supplies come from Sivkasi, a town at the southern state of Tamil Nadu. With over 800 functioning factories, the place is home to the world's second largest fireworks industry. But that is nothing to brag about, as activists have exposed the rampant child labor employed at Sivkasi's factories. Underage children are taught to mix sulfur, potassium, nitrate, and other hazardous chemical ingredients with little to no protective equipment. This leads to scalded skins, lung poisoning, and other health problems. Furthermore, accidents have also happened in the form of fires and explosions that have taken the lives of many of these youngsters. The Indian government has tried to intervene by setting a number of strict regulations and by introducing programs that push children towards leaving labor and pursuing education. However, the problem is far from over. Many children have moved to working for home-based manufacturers that follow no safety or health regulations whatsoever. Number 8. Sex workers. Young boys and girls all over the world are exploited sexually by adults. Some willingly go into prostitution as their only means of escaping poverty, while some are forced against their will. Many children are also victims of human trafficking, being kidnapped from their families and sold to pimps and brothel owners in foreign countries to become sex workers. Apart from prostitution, some are exploited in child pornography and other sexual performances. This form of child labor could be extremely dangerous, as the children become subjected to prolonged physical and mental abuse. They are beaten, left malnourished, and might even end up carrying sexually transmitted diseases. The psychological impacts are just as terrible, and the children are often scarred for life. Number 7. Bullfighters in Mexico. As a blood sport, bullfighting's popularity has decreased tremendously all over the world for the past few decades. Although it remains legal in many countries, it has received much scrutiny in light of animal rights issues. Bullfighters themselves also face considerable dangers, which is the reason the sport is heavily regulated. In Spain, people under 16 years of age are forbidden to participate. But in Mexico, no such law exists. Inspired by the fame and riches earned by champion matadors, hundreds of young boys, some as young as 6, enroll in Mexico's many bullfighting academies. Some attend voluntarily, while others are sent by their parents to pursue the dangerous but lucrative profession. Only a few among them have a shot at all, as the odds of succeeding are very slim. Injuries are very common, forcing the kids out of the arena forever. Number 6. International Russian spies. In the movie Salt, starring Angelina Jolie, it is shown that the Soviet Union secretly trained a number of their children from early ages to become spies who would eventually grow up in the United States and take on high-profile government jobs. While the film is fictional, it turns out that the story of Russian spy children has some truth to it. In 2010, under a counterintelligence operation called Ghost Stories, the FBI managed to arrest 10 deep-cover Russian spies working working in the US, and with that bust, they uncovered startling information. Children were being trained as spies to continue their parents' work when they grew up. The youngsters' family histories, names, and citizenship have all been found to be fake and have for many years been living under the guise of regular American children. They were trained in plain sight, often excelled at academics, and by the time of their parents' arrest, they were already proficient in many languages. Having been arrested, some of the youngsters suffered identity crisis and reportedly have been deported. Number 5. Bangle makers in India. Glass bangles are popular tourist souvenirs in India, but behind the shiny ornaments lies a cruel fact. Many of them are manufactured under hazardous conditions with the labor force of poverty-stricken children. Most of the glass bangles are made inside gloomy factories, where children toil beside grown-ups in extremely hot and poorly ventilated conditions. Working for prolonged hours in such environments leads to respiratory problems for the young ones, and poor families could not afford or refuse to seek medical treatment, as it will alert authorities to what they are doing. While such child labor is against the law, many Indian officials are secretly in cahoots with factory and business owners. This is why, despite the many efforts to stop it, the practice still persists. A government survey revealed that over 4,000 children were employed illegally in Firozabad, the center of glass bangle manufacturing, with nearly half of them involved in the dangerous work. Number 4. Tobacco field workers in the U.S. The problem of child labor is present all over the world, even in the so-called land of the free. According to Human Rights Watch, there are many children working in tobacco farms in Kentucky, Virginia, Tennessee, and North Carolina. While U.S. law prohibits the sale and use of tobacco and its products to children, there is no law preventing them from working in tobacco fields. The U.S. happens to be the 4th largest tobacco producer in the world, and many leading cigarette companies purchase tobacco grown in American soil. The dangers of tobacco field work are mostly related to acute nicotine poisoning. While handling the leaves, nicotine is absorbed directly through the skin, causing nausea, vomiting, headaches, and dizziness. Apart from that, workers are also exposed to the pesticides sprayed in the fields. Many of these chemicals are poisonous neurotoxins that affect the nervous system, and children whose brains are still in development are the most vulnerable. A majority of the field child workers have reportedly gotten sick with various nervous, breathing, and skin conditions. Number 3. Mining in Tanzania. Being one of the largest gold-producing countries in Africa, Tanzania provides mining jobs for over 1 million of its people, and among those people are thousands of small children, despite the country's law prohibiting child labor. The job in Tanzania's small-scale mines is extremely dangerous, as the children have to dig deep into the pits while breathing in toxic mercury and dust. The tedious work also involves carrying heavy sacks of gold ore and crushing them, sometimes in long shifts that carry on for up to 24 hours. Unstable mines would sometimes collapse, causing injuries or death. Young children are usually forced to work to support their families, resulting in poor school attendance. They also suffer injuries and long-term health problems that include respiratory diseases, musculoskeletal problems, and mercury poisoning. Mercury is used in the extraction process of gold from ore. The resulting toxic mercury fumes in the burning process are inhaled not only by mine workers, but also by small children present during the process that is sometimes carried out at home. Number 2. Chimney sweeps in Victorian England. Although chimney sweeps have been in existence since as early as the 13th century, the profession achieved notoriety in 18th and 19th century Britain. This is due to a large number of young boys and girls being forced into the job during those times. Because of their small sizes, children were perfect for climbing into the narrow, dusty flues in the cities. The age of industrialization brought more people to the city, which caused an increase in the number of houses with chimneys. Buildings became taller, flues got narrower, and the occupation of chimney sweeps became very much sought after. Adults running chimney sweep businesses acquired their little workers either from orphanages, by paying financially troubled parents, or by just kidnapping them outright. The job came with countless occupational hazards. All the soot, coal, and dust were not only bad for the lungs, the substances proved carcinogenic, as many chimney sweeps ended up with a form of cancer later in their lives. But the worst part, of course, is getting stuck. It is not an uncommon case where careless climbing boys got stuck with their their knees jammed against their chins. Struggling would cause them to get jammed tighter or risk suffocating from the soot. The poor boys could remain in such positions for hours until help arrives to pull them out with a rope from above or to be pushed from below. Sometimes an unaware house occupant would light up their fireplace, and the boy would either die from the heat or from asphyxia. Dead or alive, a stuck body would have to be removed, and this would be done by removing an entire chimney wall. The employment of child sweeps was indeed a hallmark of child abuse in Victorian times. Thankfully, the practice has long been banned. Number 1. Child soldiers in Africa. Throughout history, children have been used extensively as military soldiers, and the practice is global in scope. Although the practice is no longer as widespread as it was, child soldiers still roam about in many parts of the world, particularly in the African continent. Many African child soldiers were originally kidnapped or taken in after their families were killed. These children are then taught to use weapons and partake in active combat. Some are also recruited to cook, work as spies, bombers, human shields, and even sex slaves. The reason why children are recruited is because of how easily it is to manipulate them, as they are too young to resist orders. It is also more profitable, as the children work unpaid and consume less food than adults. Today it is estimated that up to 120,000 children are used as combatants or military support in African war zones, representing 40% of the worldwide total. Most are deployed in the ongoing civil wars in Congo and the Central African Republic. Cho had been diagnosed with severe anxiety disorder and been under therapy since his school years. Reports indicated that his mental condition had been deteriorating, and a professor had tried to get him to seek help, but he refused. His true underlying psych diagnosis in his final days remains unknown.